From inside the gym at Leominster High School, we welcome you to another edition of high school basketball right here on RFM. It's a President's Day Monday. Hope you've enjoyed, for a lot of you, an extra day off, a shorter week, a 3-day weekend as well, and an opportunity to turn our attention toward the winding down of the regular season of high school basketball here in central Massachusetts. Tonight from the gym at Leominster High School, it's girls basketball action as Leominster plays host to Millbury. It's the Woolies and the Blue Devils, and you've got a story of two teams that are having very different seasons. For Leominster, they bring their 6-11 record into tonight's game, 3-5 in league in Mid-Watch A. Meanwhile, for Millbury, everything's been coming up Woolies for them, 17-2 overall. They are 11-0 in what is known as Swickle C. That's the Southern Worcester County League Division C. It's been a great year for Millbury. They come into tonight's action winners of 13 in a row. Their last loss was December 30th against Newton South on the road in Eastern Mass. It was a 46-34 loss just a couple of days before the curtain came down on year 2019. Winners of 13 in a row since that night. But you know what they say about streaks? All good streaks are eventually meant to come to an end. And for the Blue Devils tonight, they would like nothing better than if that streak came to an end right here on home hardwood. Meanwhile, for us here on RFM tonight, a chance to bring you a special edition of high school basketball. Another thing we've wanted to do for a very long time, and we get a chance to do that tonight as we present for the first time Inside Access Night. It's something that people have wondered, what do different things look like when you're on the air? Obviously, we watch the game main cam. You see what's going on at halftime. We get to see a little bit of what goes on at press row. Well, tonight, Inside Access Night, 1, 2, 3, you get to see it all at the same time, and that's what you will see throughout the night. We'll have the main game cam for you, and we'll be up here in the top right corner of your screen so you can see exactly what Billy, Kate, and I are doing throughout the night as we are calling the play-by-play of this one.
Do we really want
Absolutely,
that?
Bill Thomas, without question.
We didn't get a vote.
When you get an opportunity for a special edition, you bring a special edition
The power
to the
of
audience.
technology, I love it.
We've wanted to do it for a very long time. We'll get a chance to do it. And you can see tonight as we bring you a little closer to our courtside broadcast position. Right here is Kate. Right over there is Billy. I'm obviously here in the center screen, but also right over here-ish, right over there, is the, that's how the weathermen do it, the extra statistics that we bring you tonight as well. You'll get a chance to see season averages coming into tonight's game. You can follow the progress of this one and see whether Millbury and Leominster are following along with their season averages, as well as their two star players that we highlight tonight. Grace Adams for Leominster and her season average statistics, and Shannon Reno for Millbury on their side of the screen as well. Give you a chance to see all of that action as well. All right, with that said, Inside Access Night commences per usual with our introductions and Bill Thomas. We mentioned it, you heard me say it off the top. 13 straight wins for Millbury. They are a force to be reckoned with. Doesn't matter whether they're a large town, small town. You win 13 in a row, 17 out of 19 games you've played. You are a force to be reckoned with in Central Mass basketball.
Yeah, indeed. Millbury's having a statement season this year, and you know, if not for the Christmas break, they probably would be undefeated. You know, the two losses were at the Newton North Invitational Christmas Tournament, ventured the other side of 128 or out in that neighborhood. I wouldn't doubt that they played some bigger schools than what they usually play.
Both Newton South and Belmont, Bill Thomas, are larger schools.
I mean, you know that neighborhood to work out in that area in the Watertown.
They're considered large schools.
If not for that, but it shows that they're not afraid to take on some competition, whether it's in the Swickle, in the Worcester area. You know, they're coming off some quick math says a 63 or more win over Bartlett, 58 something, enormous win. But that just leads me to my next statistic.
76-19.
Yeah, whatever it is. A lot to a little. But I'm always looking for a storyline, and the storyline I'm finding is I'm not overly impressed with the scoring of the Millbury Willies. They're very balanced. They have one double-digit score. They do have a number of players that can make three-point baskets. But I'm impressed by the way they play defense, only giving up 3.8 points defensively a game. That's number 2, only behind advanced math and science by less than a point in all of Central Mass. And when you look at their plus-minus, they're only one behind. They have a plus-minus of 26. Who do you think's ahead? And I don't think it's any question when I tell you, with only a plus-minus 27 of Wachusett.
Absolutely.
That tells you right there. And the next and third is St. Peter Marion, 22. Quite a disparity when you look at statistics like that. That's all you need to know about Millbury right there. They come to play every night, and the Leominster Lady Blue Devils going to be in for a tall challenge.
By Bill Thomas's point, they may very well be the second best team in Central Massachusetts basketball and perhaps top 5 or top 10 in the state, depending on how you're scoring along. Meanwhile, Kate, we mentioned it right off the top, very different year for Leominster. Maybe you could argue underperforming a little bit with expectations with a senior-laden team, with a team that looked like, prior to the start of the year before the injury set in and just some general bad luck set in, a team that maybe could have had a really great deep playoff run. And they find themselves still in the 3rd position in Midwatch A, but the record's not going to be good enough to qualify for the postseason. In their last 5 games, they've only won 1. Their last win coming just the other night on senior night. That was Thursday, the 13th of February against Shepherd Hill, a 58-50 win in that one. But prior to that, losses to Fitchburg, Oakmont, and Wachusett as well. Tells you everything you need to know for Leominster. Neshoba was the final of the 4.
And I think that you hit the nail right on the head. It is a senior-laden team. It was a very hopeful team at the beginning of the season, but this is why you play the schedule, because the schedule doesn't play itself. So Leominster finds itself in a situation right now where they are out there. They can play spoiler tonight for the streak.
Indeed.
Right now they get to play with reckless abandon because there is a tomorrow, but there aren't that many tomorrows left, especially for the senior-laden team that is out there. But one of the things that you have to commend, these girls going through an injury-laden season, an illness-laden season, and I commend them. I tip my cap to them for being able to stick to it. Every single day that they go out there, you can see that they're putting their best effort forward. And so, as a coach, and Coach Rusty Frederick, what else really can you ask of your student athletes? They're clearly coachable. They clearly want to do well. But if you take a look at their record, a few games here and there that they lose by 4 or 5, if a few of those spin the other way, then you're looking at a very different end of the season for the Leominster Blue Devils and potentially a playoff berth. And so it's kind of those, the shoulda, coulda, woulda, but that's why you play the season, to see where the chips are going to fall. And sometimes you go into a season and you have no idea what's going to come out of it. But again, commend these young ladies for going out here and playing a phenomenal season this year and sticking with it throughout the entire way. And they have a couple of big games left after tonight.
Indeed, they do, with game coming tomorrow afternoon on the road at East Bridgewater, and then Marhar on Wednesday will stamp the end of their 2019-2020 season, and that will wrap things up as the curtain will fall for the girls in this season. But Bill Thomas, Kate alluded to it, and the positivity and the coachability we've seen in this team, regardless of obviously the situation that they have been facing. We got here early yesterday. We were setting up for yesterday's broadcast, and when you saw them working their drills and playing inner squad, working their half-court offense, it wasn't like a team that was just going through the motions because they knew the year was over. They still want to finish on a positive note with these final 3 games to play. They're playing with every bit of the reckless abandon they have all year long.
Oh, yeah, and they want to go out on top, as far as the record, and send the seniors out on a good note. Some of these seniors might never play organized basketball again in their career. But to a microcosm of the Lady Blue Devils season, I think, can be narrowed down by the last half of the season. Overall, they've had 6 losses by 7 points or less, but in the second half of the season, 6 of their losses, 4 of those 6 losses have been by 4 points or less. You just turn a couple of those games around. 6-11 could very easily be 8-9 or even 9-8, still looking up at possibly a playoff berth. So I think that's why they've been playing with their chin up. They've been playing with emotion. They know they've been in these games. They're 6-11 record, if not for injuries like Kate spoke of earlier, and right now with Isabel Nevada too, and a freshman, but they've had injuries up and down the roster throughout the season. And 6-11 is something to be proud of. When you look at the losses, I think you could, a couple of possessions, you could very easily be 9-8 or even double-digit wins. But not a bad season by any stretch of the imagination.
Bill Thomas, you alluded to it. Isabella Nevard, the freshman for the Blue Devils, she'll be out of the lineup tonight with an injury, still waiting on a report, but expected to be out the rest of the way, hoping she can return for next year's campaign. Ava McDonald, a late scratch for Leominster with flu-like symptoms, unfortunately not able to give it a go tonight. And Tiffany Boziaco, who's been a JV swing player, but has made some contributions in minutes because of, obviously, the injuries Leominster has had, has religious commitments tonight that are not going to let her be a part of the action tonight. Coach Rusty Fredericks did not elect to swing any other JV players up to the varsity roster tonight, so Leominster will go with their shortened roster. They'll only have 4 players coming off the bench tonight. Check it, make it 5 players coming off the bench tonight, so that will certainly make all of the difference in the world. With the shorter bench, it's going to have to stem the tide, if you will. I expect to see tonight Coach Frederick will rotate those players as he has quite frequently throughout this year to keep everybody fresh and get them the experience they needed in order to grow and develop. I expect we'll see that tonight. He'll keep moving those players around throughout.
I'm only counting 3 potential bench
I'm
players.
doing some math too, unless somebody's in the locker room.
If somebody's in the locker room, then it's 3.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the rest of the team? I'm looking
Bill
out
and I
at you
doing our quick
around,
counting.
and I'm doing some head count, and I'm only coming up with 8 uniforms.
No, I did. I only
Billy and
well, you had the opportunity, absolutely.
I'm like, I don't see 9.
I'm not seeing 9 people out there.
See it in your living room in living color as well.
And we're out of eligibility. So,
Indeed, we are. Lots of ways to participate. You get the action live tonight here on Facebook Live on RFM. It's facebook.com/Media Rivalry. If you want to send the link out to some of your friends, we say hello to those of you joining us. Thanks to Leominsterites Unite and Leominster, that's my hometown, along with Millbury Public Schools and Millbury Junior Senior High School groups out there on Facebook tonight as well. The game will be available, as all of our broadcasts on RFM are on demand within 24 hours out there on YouTube. Search up and subscribe to Rivalry Family Media, and you can follow us along on Twitter as well. And you can follow @Media Rivalry. Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins here with you from the gym at Leominster High School on Inside Access Night here on RFM. We're looking forward to Millbury and Leominster. We've got introductions, national anthem, and tip-off of this night next. You're watching RFM here on Facebook Live. high school basketball here on Rivalry Family Media. Happy to have you along with us for Millbury and Leominster girls closing out our regular season action here at the gym at Leominster High School. We will have playoff coverage for you once we know what those draws look like. We will certainly be keeping our attention firmly focused on the boys team here in Leominster, but there will be opportunities as well. We'll be keeping an eye on Wachusett girls basketball. If the schedule allows, we will have as much of that postseason as we can gather here on RFM. It's Inside Access Night. As promised, you're with us courtside throughout the night as well as the play-by-play. We'll be back with you as we continue through halftime as well. Ready for action at the midcourt stripe. Faith Akashiri will go up with the tip against Morgan Cronin. Tip was controlled by Millbury, straddling the midcourt line. Over and back violation is the call, and the ball will go to Leominster. Leominster will also have the benefit of having the arrow as well. Leominster goes left to right here in the first half of action. 7:50 to play, just 10 seconds in to this first quarter. Adams, back to Ivana Akachiri. Akachiri the drive, sets up a Vivamore jumper from the left side, hits the side of the basket, stays in play, and it's a Millbury basketball going down floor. Vivamore scrambles back into the play to slap it away. It's Woolies basketball, half court left, 30 seconds into this one, still no score. Off the inbound, Kelsey Reno spots up for a three and hits from the right side, drawing first points. 40 seconds into this one.
Leominster looking a little rattled, especially with their passing game early on in this one.
Vivamore step through, shot wide of the mark. Battle for the basketball. Faith Akachiri comes out with it, takes the layup, misses everything, and the rebound down in the hands of Ilana Filippo. The swing, it's a three for Shannon Reno. Back rim, no. Put back for Filippo, won't go. Foul on the action that comes next. Millbury will keep the basketball on the baseline. Millbury starts five. Kelsey Reno and Shannon Reno, the seniors working up front along with Morgan Cronin working the post. The freshman, Elena Filippo, and then the junior, Cameron Wilbur, now on the board with 2 points and in the starting lineup as well. Leominster comes down floor with their starting five, highlighted by four of the typical: Skylar Finnegan, Grace Adams, Ivana, and Faith Akachiri. Getting that fifth starting spot tonight, Desnia Vivamore gets the start in place of the injured freshman Isabella Nivard. Ivana with the head fake, didn't put the ball on the deck, called for the walk, and the ball goes back to Millbury.
That first foul for the Lady Blue Devils against Vivamore, her first, team first of the first half.
Difficulty with the inbound for Shannon Reno, but she keeps on the play, dribbles it out of trouble, gets to half court, looks long down floor for Cronin and overshoots the mark out of bounds. And the ball back to Leominster. 5-0 Woolies opening 2 minutes of this one. Akachiri for Adams, underhand back to Ivana Akachiri. Baseline drive for Faith Akachiri. Now back to Finnegan. Finnegan slashes into the paint, gets it up on the rim, got the roll. Leominster on the board.
Nice soft touch there by Skylar.
Akachiri doing a nice job pressuring.
Now battle for it right along this midcourt stripe, but did cleanly. Morgan flashes open. That's Morgan Cronin. Wide open on the right block. Steps to the line, lays it in, and good from the right block. And a 7-2 opening run for Millbury forces coach Rusty Frederick to take the timeout, stopping the clock with 5:29 to play in the first quarter. Bill Thomas, we mentioned it kind of in our opening tonight. Millbury averages just shy of 57 points a game, 56.2 points per game while only allowing just about 30.8 points per game.
Yeah, clamp down defense and, balanced scoring. I expect to see maybe another double-digit score, but Shannon Rio carries the load. She has 33 threes. So she's the shooter, but they also have Kelsey Turner with 21 threes, Kelsey Reno, Shannon's sister with 17, and Kayla Turner. So it's really the Turner and Reno shows when it comes to hoisting up the threes, and none of them are shy about it.
Indeed, they are not, and they've been successful as well. 5:29 to play here in quarter one. Coach Frederick out of the timeout. Sends his players for the full court inbound.
So did they see you adjusting my mic on,
they did.
On the mic cam?
One of the many things they see tonight is sometimes we all have to help each other in one way or another. Here
I hope that's all they see.
You're also going to be able to see the crowd staring at us.
Well, they get to see you, Bill Thomas, operating, of course, acting as both camera operator and analyst. Kate is over here doing statistics, analysis, as well as operating our graphical scoreboard. I get to call the play-by-play and switch cameras and do a little production work as well.
You're the pretty one, right?
Play-by-play is very difficult to do more than one thing. As Ivana Akachiri tried the reverse lay-in that didn't go and then commits a foul on the rebounding action. So the ball back to Millbury. Leominster with this tough 7-2 opening run they have allowed. 5:02 to play here in quarter one.
Ivana picks up her first. It's going to be team second for the Blue Devils in the first half.
Reno crosses midcourt. Cronin, long way from the basket, will drop the ball off to Wilbur. Woolies willing to take their time on this possession. 10 on the shot clock. Reno gave up the dribble and then gave up the basketball. Faith Akachiri, coast to coast, can't finish at the rim. Loose ball down in the hands of Kaya Curley-White.
Leominster set to reset.
Adams spots up a three, short off the front rim. Followed her own rebound. There was a collision. Loose ball. Rebound goes to Cronin. Cronin up for Reno. Reno drops it off to Filippo. Filippo, the right-hand drive. Tries the kick. Loose ball got tipped. Maintained by the Woolies. And then a timeout taken by Coach Steve Reno to maintain possession.
We've got our first question. Former Coach Tim Conway.
Yes.
Of Leominster fame asking, why am I sideways?
It is an excellent question. As you can probably tell here from your inside access look, the table that we're sitting at, not particularly long by any stretch of the imagination.
So I don't
Kate and Billy
watch the game.
work off of short side tables that are added along there as well. See, I love this participatory action here tonight.
Portable and collapsible.
That's right. Portable and collapsible is the name of the game to say the least. Without a doubt. You got a question? You want to drop a line in a comment? Drop it in right underneath the broadcast here tonight on Facebook Live. Again, facebook.com/media rivalry. We love the aspects that involve participation. We saw some broadcasts that people were checking in. Steve Strange checking in here, a former Leominster alum and a great basketball player in his own right. I mentioned Tim Conway. Scott Lanciani checking in with us tonight. Kathleen Esposito says, let's go Leominster, as she checks in with a comment with us tonight as well.
We also have some friends in Shrewsbury. We got Lee Diamantopoulos checking in as well. And
former Doherty coach?
No,
Lee, current Shrewsbury baseball coach.
And current basketball coach and current football coach.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, and Peter Collins.
Also from Shrewsbury.
Of St. John's
That's
hockey
right.
fame.
I wouldn't, with the right combination of scheduling, you never know. That St. John's Shrewsbury baseball game is always alluring.
Yeah,
maybe we have it here on RFM. Just got scheduled at the right time. Maybe some lights might help. Reno takes it back to the top of the key. We're halfway through quarter number one. 7-2 is the lead tonight for Millbury here in quarter one. 5 seconds on this possession. A foul on a solid drive for Shannon Reno, and she'll go to the line to shoot two.
It's going to be Kaya Curley-White's first, team third for the Blue Devils.
And the first one goes for Reno. Nice soft touch. Leominster's chipped in 3 fouls. Millbury has played some great defense without committing a foul halfway through this first quarter of action. Second one goes as well, 2 of 2 on that trip. 9-2 the lead for the Woolies. And here comes Finnegan, right back down floor, and she draws the foul. She drove the ball to the right block into a double team, and Kelsey Reno picks up her first foul. Team's first and half.
You just jumped on my spot.
Sorry there.
How dare you?
Happens from time to time. The inbound. 3-point shot won't go for Adams. Loose ball. Dribbled out of trouble there by Reno. Reno up floor to Reno. That's Shannon to Kelsey, who throws on the brakes. Now works on Vivamore. Spin, handoff Filippo. Good take down the right side. No ability to finish from that angle. And back up floor comes Akachiri. Akachiri drives into the left corner. Loses Filippo on defense and allows Leominster to reset.
Finnegan calling out a play there for the Lady Blue Devils.
They'll run a little weave at the top and drop it in the hands of Ivana Akachiri. Finnegan will flash. He'll drive left side. Little help from a screen. Nowhere to go. Drops it back toward midcourt. 7 to shoot. Leominster in no particular hurry. Vivamori now 3 to shoot. Drive, take, misses everything. Rebound down. Shot clock triggers, but they will play on the change of possession. Into the paint, shot up and not able to be finished was Wilbur's shot. She got pushed, bothered significantly, and 2 shots coming up here.
Vivamori picks up a quick second, team 4th for Leominster.
If you're just joining us, we mentioned off the top of the broadcast, 13 wins in a row for Millbury. That's the first headline of the night coming into this one. 13 wins in a row. Last loss Monday, December the 30th, as part of, as Billy told us, the Newton Invitational Tournament, where Millbury went out and played schools much larger than themselves. Their 2 losses of the season were at that Invitational against Belmont, a perennial Eastern Mass power, and Newton South as well, both, again, what would be considered large schools in the Middlesex League. Shot up shorted by Vivamore, rebound down in the hands of, it looked like Lagore. Ball was heading out of bounds. Megan Paulus, by the way, with the rebound. Pass off the mark, out of bounds, ball back to Leominster. So those 13 wins in a row. Of course, Millbury not a typical opponent Leominster has played. From time to time, you'll see them on the schedule. But what is part of what they consider their Swickle C, that's Southern West County League C. They are in a 4-team league with Quabog, Oxford, and David Prouty. Those are the other teams in in Swickle C. Kaya Curley shot off the mark, rebound down for Reno. Turner drops it off to Cronin from the right wing, hits the jumper good, an 11-2 opening run. 6 minutes gone by here in quarter number 1. Vivamore's 3 from the left corner didn't go. She followed her shot, tipped it to keep it alive. Finnegan couldn't rattle home the lay-in, and the rebound down for Reno again.
You mentioned the Blue Devils following their shots, something that they were keying off on in practice yesterday when we were covering the boys game.
Shot from inside, wouldn't go for Paulus. She got the underside of the basket support. Here we go the other way. Finnegan behind the back, sets up Cudahy in her first action of the night. She'll swing it back top of the key. Akachiri takes the 3 short of the mark, and the ball was tipped to Reno, her 3rd straight rebound. Back down floor, she goes coast to coast, flings up a layup, and it rolls off the glass and in.
Nice job.
13-2, the opening run for the Woolies.
Now, we talked pre-game that plus-minus a plus 26 for the Woolies. They're playing up to every bit of that statistic here in the first quarter.
Finnegan, the spin, crossover into the paint, up strong, takes the foul. 2 shots come to the line for Skylar Finnegan. For Millbury, this will be their last game of the regular season. They'll have a bit of a layoff until Friday's draw, and the first playoff games will not happen until next week when school resumes. Meanwhile, Leominster, 2 remaining games after tonight. Tomorrow afternoon against East Bridgewater, they conclude their regular season at Marhar on Wednesday. 3 games to start the February vacation week, not easy.
Finnegan hits her first.
Second as well. 13-4, Leominster closes that gap just slightly. A 13-2 opening run was the widest it got until Leominster was able to respond. 1:02 to play here in quarter number 1. Up floor. They tried to work the give and go, and Faith Akachiri stepped in the lane. Got a pick going down floor for Curly White.
Turnovers for the Woolies starting to add up, already up to 5 on the half.
And Leominster has not been able to capitalize. That's the top line headline at the moment. Vivamore fakes paint, turn around to the baseline shot, back rim, no. And the rebound down for Kelsey Reno. Tried to go up floor, Akachiri got a piece of it, and they will matriculate the basketball down the boundary, but barely. It works its way into the post for Paulus. Paulus got glass, but wasn't able to get it over the rim. Shot clock off with 20 seconds remaining here. Cross court, finds Curly White. 3 hits. And Leominster closes the lead to 2 possessions, 13-7 in the final 10 seconds of the first quarter. Paulus gets the baseline jumper, good if it goes. She will hit. And that will conclude quarter number 1. Through 1 quarter from the gym at Leominster High School, it's Millbury 15 and Leominster 7 through 1 quarter. Bill Thomas, it's been a one-sided basketball game. The opportunities have existed for Leominster. They've gotten the turnover opportunities with good defensive pressure, something we've seen all year long. Unfortunately, tonight, not able to turn it into points.
No, and I think they're having trouble with clamp down Millbury man-to-man or woman-to-woman defense, as we'd like to be appropriate call it down here, but limited to the Blue Devils basically to one shot and playing great, doing a great job on the offensive end, working the ball around, not forcing shots, looking for that layup and getting a number of them, working the fast break, good on the defensive rebounds, which appears the Woolies are controlling right now up to this point in the game. And if you look at the numbers, they're right on their plus-minus of 26, actually playing a little bit above that. So we know that they can play defense, just no matter where the points are going to come from. They're finding a number of ways to score them tonight, off the break, off rebounds, and just good controlled offensive passing.
One team they have not played in this regular season, when we talk about being battle-tested, is that Wachusett team, who is by far probably the best team in girls basketball in high school sports here in Massachusetts this year. And I mean, other than that, their resume is impressive. Shepherd Hill,
well, I look for common opponents.
Above.
Millbury played Shepherd Hill first game of the season and beat them, and we just beat them last night. That's no comparison. But toss Northbridge in there, a win for Millbury and a loss for us, so not a lot to go on.
Indeed. As Leominster starts with the basketball to begin quarter 2. Curly White for Akachiri, then a Vivamore jumper is good. 15-9, 7:45 to play here in the second quarter.
That's what the Blue Devils got to do. Got to be patient on the offensive end.
This is Shannon Reno, dribbling at the half circle. She'll swing it to Filippo. Filippo to Cronin. Back to Reno. Reno drives to the right elbow. Sees a flashing Wilbur, and Wilbur couldn't get the shot up. Ball lost out of bounds back to Leominster. 7:23 to play in the second quarter. 15-9, Millbury's lead. Adams, the underhand flip for Cudahy. Cudahy to the foul line. Now to Faith Akachiri, the runner, and not able to get the ball to conclude over the rim. Reno, nice good pass. Up floor vision, finds Wilbur, couldn't get a shot off, but created the space for Filippo to take the little bunny in the lane and finish.
She's not going to get credit for that, but that was a great interior pass right there.
Adams gave up the dribble and then picked up the pivot foot. Unforced error and a ball back to Millbury. Kate, as you look through those first quarter stats, what stands out?
Right now, you just said her name, Grace Adams. No points for the Lady Blue Devils in the first quarter. So right now, Finnegan with 4 points and Kaya Curly White with 3. But other than that, nothing doing for Leominster's offense.
And as you can see on your screen, if you look at the season averages, certainly well off of her season average for Adams. As Cronin will miss the three-pointer and then a push on the rebounding action. Vivamore gets billed for it. Already
That'll be her
third.
It's going to be her third, team 5th of the first half of Blue Devils.
And Coach Frederick not going to the bench with Vivamore with 3 in the second quarter. Shot up, won't go, ball lost out of bounds, stays with Millbury. I mean, the options are thin over there, I can imagine, Bill Thomas. They want to give Faith Akachiri a chance for a quick break so she doesn't have to play the entire way. They try the inbound. Adams will slap it away once again. And again, as we said, the options are limited, but Playing with 3 fouls in the second quarter could shorten Rivalry's night substantially. The drive and hold call. That looks like Adams is going to get billed for that one. And she will.
It'll be her first. It's going to be team 6th for the Blue Devils.
When you're already down 3 players, your roster feels very, very small. Cronin works top of the key with Filippo, who slid the pivot foot, walk ball back to Leominster. 6:17 to play in the second quarter, 17-9, an 8-point game. Zimri Malvi checking in with us. She says, let's go Blue. Kevin Keating also checks in, says hello tonight.
He says hello by checking.
Indeed. Rivalry, a jumper won't go. Long rebound to the boundary, out of bounds, and the ball back to Millbury. Another one-shot possession, Bill Thomas. Leominster needs to work the basketball, and they've got to come up with points every trip down the floor.
Yeah, and that's what Millbury's holding the Blue Devils to. Not getting any offensive rebounds and having trouble finding good shots. They got to show some patience here.
There's Filippo. Through the lane into a double team. Ball got poked away, but Cronin ran down the loose ball. Tried to throw a pass across the block, couldn't get there. And Leominster goes up floor. Finnegan sees Adams hard in and out. Akachiri, the rebound, goes up with it, not able to get it up all the way to the rim. And the Woolies interfered with that shot. Cronin in the post and blocked away by Akachiri. Leominster certainly hasn't lacked for defense. They've kept Millbury's number low while still trailing by 8. The push on the shot. Finnegan looks like she'll get an opportunity from the line. Indeed, they say it was in the act of shooting. 5:16 to play in the second quarter. As we mentioned, an 8-point basketball game at 17-9.
Kelsey Reno picks up her second, team 3rd of the first half.
And Finnegan hits the first, puts Leominster in double digits and closes the gap to 7. Kelsey Reno will take a quick break, as will Filippo. And Finnegan hits again. 6-point basketball game, closest Leominster really has been throughout the night. They've closed it to 2 possessions previously.
Finnegan right now with a team-high 6 points for the Blue Devils.
It's Kelsey Turner. Drops it off for Reno. Reno, the left-hand drive, working on Akachiri, who never established legal guarding position. She'll get called for the block.
That's going to be Leominster's 7, so that puts Millbury in the bonus.
2 shots. They say it was a shooting foul right off the bat, so Reno will go to the line, and they are now in the bonus the rest of the way till halftime.
For Faith Akachiri, that's going to be her first, again, team 7th for Leominster.
And the first one will go for Reno. Just a slice under 5 minutes to go here of bonus opportunity for Millbury if they can take advantage of it. That one will go as well. And for Leominster with the short bench, we can't mention it enough. Fouls are not going to be a good thing long term, as that one gets deflected on the inbound. Leominster will get to keep the basketball as it rolls harmlessly out of bounds.
With those 2 foul shots, Shannon Reno with the team-high 6 points for the Woolies.
Akachiri finds Finnegan on the inbound, and Finnegan steps on the gas cross midcourt. Breaks down and drops the ball off Adams. Back to Finnegan. And now Ivana Akachiri drives foul line. Must have bunched up a little bit. Faith Akachiri, ball fake, drive, gave it up. Ivana Akachiri, kick back, Adams 3, hits!
It took a while, but she's on the score sheet.
And Leominster within 5 at 19-14. Reno draws a little contact, maybe a little more than a little, and she'll go to the wood as the ball's lost out of bounds, and the Woolies will keep the basketball with 18 to shoot.
Blue Devils playing some good defense here, trying to claw their way back in.
Into the corner. The driving kick back from Paulus. Now Kayla Turner. Into the corner, Akachiri steps in the passing lane again, swats it out of bounds. 9 seconds to shoot on this set of 30. Bounce the inbound, finds it in the hands of Wilbur, and still had her pocket pick from behind. Adams takes on 3 Woolies, and the contact is on the floor before the shot.
That was the 9th turnover for the Woolies in the first half. That foul's going to be on number 11, Shannon Reno. It's going to be her first, team 4th for the Woolies in the first half.
Adams floats to the foul line, left elbow, gets a screen. Akachiri, and not able to finish the shot.
Follow your shot.
Yeah, Finnegan the rebound follow and pushes it through. And Leominster's within 3 at 19-16, 3:50 play in the second quarter.
And we know that was a point of emphasis for the Lady Blue Devils in practice yesterday. So again, we talked about their coachability, showing it all night right now in the first half, following their shots much, much more effectively.
Reno got the open look, couldn't finish. Akchiri pulls down the rebound. 3.5 minutes till halftime. Leominster within 3 can catch up on this possession. Adams says, I can do it, and she does! Knotted at 19, 3:20 to play in the second quarter.
I mean, credit to defense here for this resurgence here in the second quarter for the Lady Blue Devils.
Without question, Bill Thomas, the defense kept this game close when the opportunity for Millbury to run away with it in the early part of this second quarter. 3, and the key is the call. And the ball back to Leominster.
It's turnover number 10 for the Woolies.
Adams now facing full court pressure, puts it in the pocket of Finnegan, who dribbles the ball over midcourt, calls out a play. Cudahy through Adams to Akachiri. To Akachiri. Triple threat position. Some help with some screens, and Faith Akachiri got her pocket picked. Nice clean play by Turner, and that foul after the give-up play there from Faith Akachiri. And a 1-and-1 opportunity as Akachiri picks up her second.
It's going to be her second, team 8th for the Blue Devils. Owls are starting to scare me now.
Indeed.
Nobody necessarily in trouble right
Except
now for
for
the Blue Devils,
Vivamore with 3.
Vivamore, but some key players right now making me a little bit worried.
Turner can't hit the front end, and the rebound down in the hands of Faith Akachiri. Up 4 for Finnegan. Finnegan through the foul line, takes the jumper at the left elbow, got front rim, and the rebound down for Philpo.
Nobody followed on that one.
Pocket pick, though, coming back down floor, Finnegan. Finnegan goes 1-on-3 and slows the action enough as she'll kick it to Cudahy, who launches a 3 and buries it. Kylie Cudahy, seeing longer stints with the varsity program, started the year on JV, then a swing player, and has now become a contributing member of the varsity program out of necessity. The next person up, Bill Thomas, and she made it count.
Yeah,
as
you got that right, Todd. She's taking every advantage of this opportunity through injuries and attrition.
2 minutes till halftime. We're tied at 22.
Cudahy, a very traditional Leominster name.
Indeed.
In football and in basketball.
Jumper off the front rim won't go. Great lineage there. Turner stops at the arc. 1:45 to play here in the second quarter. As Finnegan reaches out, not able to grab the basketball. Now Cronin. Cronin drops it off for Turner. To Turner. Three-pointer off the mark, and the rebound Akachiri, who dribbles out of the doubles team.
Faith has been everywhere on the rebounding action. Absolutely everywhere tonight. She has taken over in the paint on the boards.
And that's been her key contribution.
Nice senior leadership in the paint.
Adams got some space down the lane. Her shot well off the mark. Officials, nobody wanted to make contact. They say there was a deflection and the ball will stay with Leominster.
Oh, we have a member of the Vince Aquari family, Go Willies, checking in on Facebook as well.
1:15 to play here in quarter 2. 9 to shoot for Leominster. Vivamore back in, playing with 3 fouls. Adams for Finnegan, and Finnegan takes the contact as Filippo reaches across the body.
A foul to take right there.
Long way from the basket. We've been talking about that a lot in broadcast
I took
recently.
the words right out of my mouth. Exactly what I was thinking.
Filippo
Good to play defense, not out there.
Kicked ball. Leominster will keep it with a fresh shot clock. Inbound right here in front of our broadcast position. 1:06 to play here in the second quarter.
Always exciting.
Indeed, it's right in the living room. Akachiri will run down the basketball. They say there was no possession. Thus she's able to corral for the dribble. Under a minute till halftime. Ball stripped away from behind by Cronin. Cronin up floor, finds Reno. Reno got away from a double team. Soft touch around the rim and gets it to go and puts the Woolies back on top.
Talk about weaving your way to the basket.
Team high 11 points for Shannon Reno.
And a contact given again. Turner a long way from home. Makes the contact with Finnegan. And Finnegan's ball handling skills, Bill Thomas, we've highlighted them throughout her career, obviously, winding to a finish. But it certainly does create trouble for the defense. It's a game where you have to play defense with your feet. The more she dribbles around in circles, the more difficult it is to keep sliding your feet around and around with her.
It's almost like she's teasing you in so she can dribble around you, and she's very good at that.
So foul on the floor, not going to be a shooting foul. That's only 6 for the Woolies.
That'll be an inbound for Leominster again here, side out. 2.5 second differential, shot clock to game clock on the inbound. Akachiri, kick back, Finnegan, drive, kick, Akachiri baseline drive. Adams 3 from the left corner, too strong. Rebound down for Cronin, got bumped, was able to keep it alive through Reno. Shot clock off, final 15 seconds of the half. Woolies would like to expand their lead a little bit. It was as much as double digits at one point in time. Final 5 seconds of the half. Leominster's defense smothering. Poked away here. They get the shot off. It was good if it went. That's too strong off glass. Great defense from Leominster prevents a final shot. Halftime here from the gym at Leominster High School on Inside Access Night here at the gym at Leominster High School. Millbury on top by 2 at halftime. 24-22. What a first half, Bill Thomas. You highlighted it. Say it again. Leominster defense. Keep them in this basketball
and right
game.
there, right down to that final possession of that first half right there. Tenacious defense has kept them in this game. Some timely shooting, showing some patience, but it's really been defense that's kept them, kept the score this close. They were in danger of falling behind by double digits or more there, but clawed their way back and have made a game out of this.
Indeed we have. A few more shout-outs here at halftime. We'll say hello to Lisa Lang as well as Katie Foley out there. Rachel Ruggieri. Vince Query, right?
Yeah,
Thank you, very good. Says go Woolies as she checks in on the broadcast night, and she says so happy she can watch live, and Noah, thank you to you for being a part of our family tonight here on Rivalry Family Media. 24-22 at halftime from the gym at Leominster High School. A break and we're back with Kate's halftime stats as we continue here with Inside Access Night. Millbury on top 24-22 at the half. Halftime here from the gym at Leominster High School, and continuing with us here on Rivalry Family Media's Inside Access Night. We welcome you back to our courtside broadcast position. Millbury on top of Leominster by a 24-22 score here at halftime. As we mentioned, what it will be our final regular season game here on RFM. Then we'll wait for the draw coming up on Friday, and then we will have the upcoming action, see what comes next, and we'll set up our schedule accordingly. We'll certainly have the Leominster boys playoff game, wherever that is. It's expected to be potentially here at the gym at Leominster High School. A home game would be very nice, obviously, for the boys for how great their season has gone. They're also hoping for a first-round bye, so we'll see how that math shakes out. We'll keep an eye on Shrewsbury boys, Wachusett girls, Shrewsbury girls. A lot of different coverage here for hoops action we could dial into here on RFM, and we're looking forward to bringing that to you.
Playoffs.
Playoffs are coming. As we get set and continue here on Inside Access for second half action.
Both teams coming out with 2 minutes and 15
Yeah, they certainly feel like they've got whatever they need. They're just going to take some cursory warm-ups, but you've got our halftime stats.
Oh, that's my job. Okay. All right, let's first take a look at the Leominster Blue Devils. Team totals first: 15 rebounds, 2 steals, 8 turnovers. They're 4 of 4 from the line. Individual notable statistics for the Blue Devils: Skylar Finnegan with a team-high 8 first half points. Grace Adams picks up 6 points. Kaya Curley-White with 3. Destinia Vivamore has 2 points, and Cudahy rounds out the Lady Blue Devils' contributions to the stat sheet with 3 points. If we take a look at points coming from the bench so far for the Blue Devils, right now Cudahy with 3 points and Kaya Curley-White with 3 points from the bench, so a total of 6 points coming from the bench thus far for the Leominster Blue Devils. And that's a bench that we know right now is limited because of injuries, because of illness, because of other obligations as well. It's been a roller coaster of a season in regards to that for the Lady Blue Devils, but they continue to persevere. Now let's take a look at the Millbury Woolies side of the ball. Team totals first: 20 rebounds, 2 steals, 11 turnovers. They're 4 of 6 from the free throw line. That's 67%. Individual notable statistics: Reno number 1 would be 3 points. That would be Kelsey Reno.
Correct.
If we take a look at Paulus, 2 points. Shannon Reno right now with the team high 11 points. She's 4 of 4 from the free throw line as well. Filippo with 2 points, Wilbur with 2 points, and Cronin with 4 points right now for the Woolies. Todd?
Indeed, and that is our halftime stats. Kate, thank you so much.
Hey, that's
Kate.
my job.
Indeed, as we get ready
The Woolies are ready to
for
go.
second half action. Yes, indeed, they are. They will start with the basketball. They will be half court to our right for this second half action. They come out with a 2-point lead, a lead, Bill Thomas, that we saw a balloon to just about double digits. And then thanks to Leominster defense and finally capitalizing on some opportunities, has closed to 2 in halftime.
So good interior defense and getting their hands on some defensive rebounds so that they can get the action going the other direction, and then showing some patience down the offensive end. That's what it's going to take. They're going to continue that formula.
Makes all the difference in the world. Go ahead,
Very
Kate.
interested to see what type of adjustments both teams make.
The battle into the post, lost out of bounds, stays with Millbury. Reno with the inbound for Reno and drops it off for Cronin. Now Filippo, the driving kick, sets up Kelsey Reno 3, got net, but didn't go through the cylinder. Ball out of bounds and back to Leominster. Just about 30 seconds gone by in this third quarter. Still stuck at 24-22. A carry called, this one against Finnegan, and the ball will go back to Millbury. Finnegan was working quickly over half court, trying to beat the Woolies, getting back on defense, and just scooped the basketball in that last dribble. It's Reno. Through Reno and into the corner of Filippo 3. Long on the mark. Finnegan got the rebound out of a double team.
Defensive rebound, big key right here for the Lady Blue Devils.
Leominster plays catch around the rim. Cross court. Vivamore sees Finnegan. Uppercuts it to an Adams 3. Tried to buddy English and in. Couldn't get it to go. There was a possibility to give Leominster the lead. Would have been a lead for the first time tonight. A 3-point basket down floor for Cronin. expands the lead to 5 for the Woolies.
She's now up to 7 points on the night.
Adams had it poked away by Reno. Nice soft touch at the midcourt. She is stuck. Coach Frederick wants travel call, didn't get it. Looked like she did a pretty good job to Kelsey Reno to keep that pivot, but screwed into the floor while she moved about. Filippo, and then a walk into the post with Cronin, and the ball back to Leominster. Changes on the floor, brings Wilbur back to the floor. Filippo for a rest. Both Renos, full court pressure here.
Pair of Renos in your face.
Indeed. Finnegan was able to dribble out of trouble, then gave up the dribble. She cross-courted. Akachiri worked in the corner for Vivamore, a 3, rattled out, poked out of bounds. Last touch, Leominster. Ball to Millbury. Two minutes gone by in this third quarter, and Millbury has opened their lead up a little bit. Leominster still stuck at their halftime mark of 22. The drive.
Leominster's going to have to keep it close in this third quarter if they want to be in it.
Shannon Reno tried to bank home a 3. Almost got double glass on that one before it went. Ooh. Finnegan.
That last bounce check with a flagrant elbow attached to it, so fortuitous on her behalf.
Indeed. Adams sets up a Finnegan 3. Too strong off the back rim. Vivamore, remember, out on the floor. Starting this third quarter with 3 fouls already built to her in the first half. Ivana Akachiri may have got a piece of that one and then picked up the loose ball. She comes back down floor through Adams. Battle for the ball on the baseline, and there's a push called. There was a point, and they bill it. Adams called for the push on the loose ball. The ball back to Millbury.
That'll be her second team first of the first half of the Blue Devils.
For those of you tuning in tonight and wondering what you're looking at here on RFM, special night for us.
It's not a pretty sight.
It's inside access night. You see both camera angles that we have, get an opportunity to see and answer the questions that you've always wondered. What in the heck are you people doing while you call the game? That's why you've got this split screen coverage you're seeing tonight. 3/4 of the screen occupied by the game camera, and you get to see what's going on here on press row as well.
Billy and I both objected, but we're overruled.
I figured all about it.
I certainly objected.
3-pointer for Reno, didn't go, it scraped rim, bodies to the floor, lost out of bounds, stays with Millbury. 4:40 to play here in the third quarter, 27-22 Millbury's lead. Scoring has been at a premium in this third quarter. One thing we can say for Leominster's defense is Shannon Reno fires up a 3, it won't go. Akachiri with position pulls down the rebound, as they are keeping Millbury well off of their season average of 56 and more toward their Leominster's defense average, 51 or less.
Long 2 attempt from Finnegan, brought down by Reno.
Going the other way in transition with 4 1/4 to play here in the third quarter. Shannon Reno comes loose, gave up the dribble early, took the long step, couldn't finish. Then pokes it away from Cudahy in transition. Shannon Reno this time a long takeoff, too far from basket. A walk called, the ball back to Leominster.
Fourth turnover of the second half for the Woolies.
Both coaches up at the front of their benches and speaking their piece, trying to coach their players.
Leominster needs to take advantage of this cold streak by the Woolies scoring. If they don't, I don't know how they're going to make it.
Finnegan was open, then drove, ran right into Shannon Reno. Tried some inside passing. It rolls out to the top of the key and finds Adams. Sets up Finnegan again. Ball fake, kick. Adams free, too far. Short off the front rim. Finnegan went up with it. Held ball is the call. Alternate possession stays with Leominster.
One of the things that's been really nice to see is when you take a look at a team, even if they're not in the same division as you, Leominster looking at that incredibly impressive record that the Woolies have had, and you could see the jitters a little bit early on, but those jitters absolutely gone, and they are keeping up.
Cudahy spots up for a 3 wide open from the right. Got back rim, no. Rebound down for Cronin. Transition to Reno. Reno to Wilbur, who thought about a 3 and pulled it down. Now Reno comes to Cronin. Cronin up top for Wilbur. No particular hurry for the Woolies here, 10 to shoot. 3 from Kayla Turner, won't go. Rebound for Akachiri. 3-on-2 with the Millbury in hot pursuit. Finnegan will drop it to Faith Akachiri in the post.
And with only 3 minutes remaining, still the Woolies only have a scoring contribution from Cronin. It was a 3 in the third quarter.
Long 2 steps for Ivana Akachiri. Lost the handle, out of bounds. Ball back to Millbury. That's been the only scoring period of this third quarter, second half.
There's been a drought. There has been a drought.
It will certainly keep Leominster hanging around in the basketball game, but you have to wonder how long you can go stuck on your halftime mark of 22.
They have to take advantage.
Cronin for Wilbur. And now Reno. Reno gets a screen. Drive. Throws up the lane from the tough angle. Lost out of bounds. Cronin had last touch. Ball back to Leominster. Vivamore back into the game with 3 fouls.
I'll tell you right now, in my book, Faith Akachiri has been the difference maker in this game for the Blue Devils. Her contributions in the paint have been invaluable tonight.
We haven't called her name much in this third quarter, but she's been everywhere the basketball has been. Finnegan lost the handle, got it poked away by Kelsey Reno, takes it to the basket and finishes. That makes it 5 points here in the third quarter, and they've all belonged the way of the Woolly. Vivamore into the post for Faith Akachiri. Now for Vivamore, 2:05 to play here in the third quarter. Finnegan spins to the foul line, push shot, side of the rim won't go. And here comes Paulus back up floor. Paulus for Reno, 3, rims out, won't go. Put back, doesn't go either, but the rebound for Cronin, third opportunity on the possession. Kelsey Reno directs traffic, top of the key. Akachiri pokes it away, loose ball. Curly White stays with it. She's able to run it down, dribble in stride, and take the foul from Filippo. And Curly White has 2 coming from the foul line. Finally, a flurry of offensive possibility in transition. Defense to offense for Leominster.
Filippo picks up her team first, of the second half.
Curly White with the left-hand free throw goes, and Leominster's on the board in the second half. With the only good news being the lead is only 6. Short to the front rim, rebound down for Paulus. 93 seconds to the fourth quarter. Ball touched to the baseline. Akachiri poked it out of bounds. That's Faith Akachiri there again. And a timeout taken. This one, Coach Rusty Frederick. 1:28 to play in the third quarter. 29-23, Millbury on top of Leominster. And Kate, we've mentioned it since halftime. Leominster has only been able to produce 1 point, but yet still find themselves within 6 in this basketball game. That's defense all the way.
It's absolutely defense all the way, and one of the things that you have to take from this is that Leominster still keeping this game close when their 2 most prolific scorers in both Grace Adams and Skylar Finnegan. Finnegan right now with 8 points in the game, but those were all first half points. She hasn't been putting anything on the score sheet in the third quarter. Grace Adams tonight with only 2 baskets, both from 3-point range. Both were beautiful, but she's been fairly quiet overall. Nothing in the first quarter, nothing so far in the third quarter for Grace Adams. And you take a look at our inside access, she's the player that we're highlighting for Leominster. And so if you take a look, I can't read it from there, but do you have any idea what her game average is?
Her game average is a lot more than she has right now. I got to lean in a little closer to our screen here.
That's cute.
As Bill Thomas has that average. You have the Grace Adams average there, Bill Thomas? 13.4 per game, Kate.
So right now, well below
you
her,
can jump in, Bill Thomas. Your mic's on. It's inside access night. You jump right in.
All right, so full disclosure.
Yes.
Denny Hamler just won the Daytona 500. You want to know how I know that?
Under a green-white checker.
Yes. As they crash at the start-finish line, Ryan Newman's upside down. But stick with us, please.
Bill Thomas might be listening to the Daytona 500.
Everybody is up and on their feet. See, more inside access. We promised it to you tonight. Cronin's 3, front rim, no, and Akachiri down with the rebound.
Defensive rebound, and once again, keeping the Blue Devils in this game.
That's what I love about Bill Thomas. NASCAR. He bleeds NASCAR.
Bill Thomas began at the now K Zone, WPKZ, as the NASCAR insider. That's how I met him.
W-E-I-M
at the time.
Curly White for 3.
And buried. And Leominster win 3 at 29-26. 50 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. The great victory of this third quarter might be Leominster is still within a couple possessions of this one.
Curly White bench points, 7 points off the bench for Curly White in this one so far.
Ball from Turner into the post. Cronin kept it alive at the baseline. Akiri poked it loose. Frustration, and then a foul with contact. So you can see Filippo was getting tired of the contact coming in all directions, and threw the ball away. Yes, indeed, they do.
That's going to be Faith Akachiri's third. It's going to be team second of the second half for the Blue Devils.
And that lacks good news as well, as that means Faith Akachiri and Vamore are both playing with 3 fouls. Leominster's been much cleaner on the sheet in this second half. 4-second differential shot clock to game clock. Filippo sets up a Turner 3 that won't go. Another opportunity out to Paulus. Shot clock off. Kelsey Reno had it poked away to Vivamore. Battle for the ball out of bounds. It was last touched by Vivamore, and Leominster will not get the basketball. Millbury will keep the ball.
Faith may have gotten away with one there.
Indeed, with the shoulder contact on both sides. 7 seconds in this third quarter still to go. Cronin, the drive is swatted down by Akachiri. Then for Curly, for Adams, good if it goes. That one well short of the mark. 3 quarters in the books from the gym at Leominster High School on Inside Access Night here on RFM, 29-26. Millbury on top of Leominster. Scoring in that third quarter, very, very few.
I'm doing some math. 9 points total.
9 points
4
total.
by the Blue Devils, 5 by the
5 by
Woolies.
Millbury. Yeah, indeed.
But not for lacking action, though.
No, it was up and down the floor.
Defense, good defense, and not a lot of turnovers. I just credit to good defense and defensive rebound. Not a lot of second chance opportunities for either team.
And certainly Leominster's defense will be the story of the night. If they're able to climb all the way back into this one again and somehow produce a victory tonight, their defense will have produced this victory tonight just by keeping the game in a reasonable margin. They're going to hold Millbury well below their season average tonight.
Yeah, and they're fast approaching above what Millbury has allowed their opponents. So, you know, Leominster's doing a great job of positioning themselves to win. It's going to be a couple of possession game here in the fourth quarter. Depends which way those possessions go. You know, that's been a tale of Leominster season, 2 or 3 possessions every game, leading to a number of losses between, 7 points or less. Have to see how it plays out tonight.
And talking to Coach Rusty Frederick before the game, Kate, he mentioned free throws throughout the year have certainly been a challenge for this girls' team. Seemingly tonight, when presented the opportunities, ye but few, they have taken advantage of them.
5 of 6 tonight so far for the Lady Blue Devils from the free throw line, doing a very nice job. A quick hello from you and I of Saki, Mel, Arya, and Iris as well.
All checking in tonight.
Oh, and Ralphie.
Ah, yes, from the Berg tonight.
Don't forget Ralphie.
Final 8 minutes of regulation stacked up on the board. 29-26. Millbury starts with basketball and a 3-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Just 8 minutes to go.
Here's Cronin. Triple threat position, chooses dribble. Now the kickback for Wilbur. Wilbur will screen and roll. Reno decides to go to Cronin. Now Filippo, baseline drive. Cronin takes the jumper, long two, won't roll. Rebound, Curly White has it poked away. Battle to the floor. Reno brings it up, and Coach Steve Reno comes up off the bench with the timeout. Stops the clock, 7:34 to play in the fourth quarter, and maintains possession. There was a lost basketball, then a recovery, and so they're showing a fresh 30 on the shot clock for Millbury.
A lot of chaos right there in that possession. I think great timeout here by the Millbury coaches. Settle his team down.
And get an opportunity to keep the basketball and produce points. 29-26, Millbury's lead at the timeout.
We take a look at the last time that Millbury played a close game.
We have the high-low up on our graphic tonight. That much I can tell you. Their low was 34, I believe.
Yes, low
High of
30,
79, low of 34.
But the last time they had a close game in the fourth quarter, maybe against Grafton on February the 4th, maybe. But other than that, I'm not seeing, all the way back to December 12th against Shepherd Hill, I'm not seeing any close games for the Woolies. So this one actually, whether they, obviously looking for W here, but whether they come out in the win column or the loss column, is a fabulous game going into postseason. This is their last regular season game, getting ready, a close game for them. Really great way to test themselves going into the postseason.
And a 13-game win streak on the line as Filippo fires up three that won't go. Reno the rebound. Wilbur sets up Cronin, creates some space, took the contact, and Morgan Cronin will go to the line with 2 shots.
One of the first times the Woolies have got their hands on an offensive rebound in the second half here, and we see the consequences here for the Blue Devils. Going to send a Woolie to the line here for 2.
Kaya Curley-White picks up her second team third of the second half for the Blue Devils.
And Bill Thomas, we were mentioning on the inside access coverage tonight, the season stats right there, the season averages right next to the screen. And we mentioned that disparity of high-low. 79 points, the high for Millbury this year. Their low, 34. Meanwhile, for Leominster, 56 and 29. Very different numbers in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, not a lot of close games. Quickly, I see a 7-point game and a couple of 10-point games, but the Woolies really haven't been tested as the fourth quarters in their games have been winding down.
Back to those 2 losses in December. Their only 2 blemishes on the season came in the first half of the season. Yes, indeed, Kate, a nice defensive trap with Turner and Reno. And Coach Rusty Frederick will use a timeout as Akachiri comes over half court. 7:12 to play here in the fourth quarter. Not a minute has gone by in this fourth quarter. It's a 4-point basketball game at 30-26, and scoring in the second half still at a premium.
Yes, I think that's an apt way to place it. Right now, Leominster only getting a scoring contribution from Kaya Curley-White. She had the 1 free throw and the 3-point shot. The only Blue Devil on the stat sheet in the second half for the Woolies. Cronin also with 4 points, and Kelsey Reno with 2 points for the Woolies in second half. So as you said, scoring right now at a premium for both teams, and I think that because of that, it's what's keeping Leominster in this game.
Say hello to another fan
more
as well. Yeah,
more friends.
Curly out there
Coach.
checking in tonight. Say hello to him. A huge proponent of women's athletics and a coach as well. And you could even argue partner in crime to the one Tim Conway we mentioned earlier.
Longtime partner in crime.
Without a doubt. Leominster out of the timeout, 7:05 to play here in the fourth quarter.
Those two are a blast together.
Oh, indeed they are. There's the drive, the drop, Finnegan for Faith Akachiri, and she finishes at the rim to pull Leominster within 2 at 30-28.
The patience right there by the Lady Blue Devils, working the ball around, getting in the low post.
Another treat of a basketball game here on RFM in 2020.
You picked some good ones,
Oh,
Todd.
we've had a great opportunity with some great games to bring to the community and the world over, thanks to Facebook Live. The drive, Adams caught an elbow in the nose. The ball stays with Millbury, 1 to shoot. The horn goes off, but it got the rim in the reset. Leominster's got possession. Adams is okay as she continues in the action. It was an inadvertent elbow, but sometimes that happens in basketball.
Tell you exactly what she thought. Prom.
Without a doubt, Akashiri takes the jumper, and it's good. We're knotted at 30. 6:05 to play here in the fourth, and still prom eligible.
By the time you get to February, that's exactly what you're thinking.
I
As
can
soon as you get a
certainly understand.
facial industry, you go, oh my God, prom.
It is, and it's that time of year, without a doubt.
It is. That's what I would have thought.
Without a doubt. Reno dribbling on Curley-White, drew the reach-in foul.
Having done some silly things when I was a junior and senior in high school going into the season, Billy, for my senior softball season, I wore Under Armour even if it was 80 degrees outside, so I would not get tan lines because #prom.
Apparently you were wearing an off-the-shoulder gown, huh?
Yes, I certainly was.
And that's where the benefit of just going to see our local formal wear provider is a benefit indeed, as Cronin draws the foul in the paint. Can't finish the lay-in, but she's got 2 shots coming from the line.
I'm telling you, and this is one of the interesting things about high school athletics, because in earnest, I mean, Grace Adams is a gamer. I mean, let's make no mistake about it. She probably didn't really think about that. But when you have young student athletes, it really is something that's on the forefront of your mind. you make some silly, some silly
I
life
bet you her
choices.
mother might have thought of that.
That's right. Maybe.
Think about all of the components that play into high school athletics that people don't appreciate. Of course, you mentioned the social component and the different extracurriculars you could attend. You mentioned, of course, class and being in school, and then a part of your athletic team as well, as Cronin will finish the second of the two opportunities and put Millbury back up by 1. Vivamore missed the lay-in opportunity that was afforded her, and Millbury's got the ball in transition. 5:15 to play in the fourth quarter with a 1-point lead. Reno through the lane, gets the bounce to go, and the lead all of a sudden 3 once again with 3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter.
Shannon Reno quiet in the second half, picks her first 2 points of the second half, but she's got a team-high 13 for the Woolies.
And the Woolies are finding a way under the basket.
Akachiri to Akachiri, the long throw. Adams kept it alive, but for a moment out of bounds. The ball back to Millbury. 4:53 to play in the fourth quarter. Leominster chasing 3, and time is becoming very much of the essence. Cronin, the loose dribble, drops it off to Wilbur, 18 to shoot. The drive, kick into the corner.
Saved by Cronin.
Indeed. Around for Turner. Turner sets up a Kelsey Reno 3. Front rim and a rebound for Cronin. Another opportunity on a long possession for Millbury. Leominster's defense needs to come up with a stop here. 4:20 to play in the fourth quarter. Ball lost by Cronin, back toward midcourt, kept it alive. Throw it to Vivamore, throws it out in front and run down by Kelsey Reno, who scrambled back into play. Comes Reno, up floor to Turner, bothered from behind, couldn't finish. And Adams has got herself a loose basketball.
A lot of time coming off the clock and not a lot of points being scored.
Really the story of the second half.
Oh, yes.
Finnegan, a 3, banks in! We're knotted at 33!
Finnegan picking up her first basket of the second half. She has a team-high 11 points for the Lady Blue Devils.
Didn't see that one coming from a tough angle, but Finnegan scraped glass and got her 3 to go.
Still counts, even if you don't call glass.
Reno responds! That one nothing but the bottom of the net. And right back on top go the Woolies at 36-33.
Reno with 16 points for the Woolies.
Vivamore swatted down by Cronin, juggled and lost out of bounds. And it looks like the ball back to Millbury as Vivamore had the last touch. And credit to Stina Vivamore, who's been playing the bulk of 2 full quarters, almost 3 now, with 3 fouls.
Yeah.
So balancing aggressive against, obviously playing smart basketball.
And a credit also to Faith Akachiri now with 3 fouls as well for the Blue Devils. Actually, I'm sorry, check that. Curly White also with 4 fouls for Leominster.
A shot clock correction, 21 to shoot on the possession, and then lost out of bounds or stepped out of bounds, and the ball back to Millbury.
It's turnover number 9 for the Blue Devils.
They were playing in a bit of a box over in the far right corner of the floor. 3:15 to play here in the fourth quarter. Reno, the drive into 3 Blue Devils, threw up shot and missed. Wilbur got the loose ball rebound, took the shot and the contact, and Wilbur's going to the line to shoot 2.
And it's the offensive rebound of the Woolies that have turned this game around into their favor here, getting themselves to the line, getting some easy layups here in this fourth quarter.
Adams picks up her 3rd foul, team 6th for the Blue Devils. Next one will put Millbury in the bonus.
3:05 to play in the fourth quarter. Millbury looking to expand on a 3-point lead on a low-scoring night. Wilbur gets that one to go.
They've played 11 minutes of defense in the second half and only have been billed with 1 foul. That's the Woolies.
Indeed.
Yes.
It speaks somewhat to Leominster, obviously trying to do a lot of work in transition, not in the half court.
Right, and some smothering defense that have held the Leominster Blue Devils to only 11 points up to this point in the second half.
That one won't go for Wilbur. And the rebound down in Leominster in transition, chasing 4. Under 3 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Finnegan directing traffic. Adams flashes for the handoff. Now drives down the right side of the lane, took contact and shorted it. Faith Akachiri, the rebound, step out, could get the second opportunity to go. 3rd shot, they say no basket. Foul is on the floor as part of the rebounding action.
Give her the and 1.
Millbury on that play.
Hard work right under the basket.
picks up just their second foul of the second half.
But the third foul overall on Filippo. And their
got it.
first player to 3 fouls, Kate, if I'm not
That's
mistaken.
correct. Kelsey Reno with 2 and Turner with 2.
Adams, the inbound, put it right into the hands of Ivan Akachiri, who got immediately tied up by Kelsey Reno, and well spotted, held basketball. The alternate possession goes to Millbury. The 2 officials convert.
Oh, wait.
And there to say it's Leominster basketball as the arrow was not reset. So Coach Steve Reno going to have a conversation. Remember, a held ball or an alternate possession change happens at the start of the quarter. So Millbury got the ball to start the fourth quarter. There was no held ball called until that moment. The arrow should have favored Leominster. Good correction there by the officials.
Great pickup. I would have never remembered that.
Yeah, great explanation, Todd. Got to give credit.
Finnegan took the 3 and missed it. And the ball down in the hands of Reno. Reno brings it up floor. 2:20 to play here in the fourth quarter. A 4-point lead for Millbury. Working on Cudahy. Kelsey Reno drops it off. This one for Filippo. Filippo for Wilbur. Thought about the 3. Head fake, drive into a double team. Might have been bothered, but a foul on the floor, they say.
Wow, it's starting to take their toll on the Blue Devils now.
And 1-on-1 opportunity for Cronin at the line. And, you know, one of the ways the officials, and every official has their own way of doing it, Bill Thomas, on that, alternate possession. Sometimes they'll move a rubber band back and forth between their wrists.
Right.
Or they will move something from pocket to pocket, whether it's a spare whistle or some kind of a, coin. I've always thought to myself, though, if I took, let's think about my chapstick in my pocket right now. If I took it out of my right pocket and put it in my left, I'm not standing on the same side of the floor all the time. I'd never remember whose was who. But that's how they remember.
Would you remember what pocket it went in? And I think Case got some information for us.
Yes, I am going to cut you guys off.
Jump right in.
That was the 4th foul for Grace Adams of the Blue Devils.
Held ball, this one for sure goes to Millbury. 2 minutes flat to play here in the fourth quarter. 39-33, the lead for Millbury. That lead has quietly expanded to 3.
6?
From 3, excuse me,
from
yes.
Yeah, and it's the persistence of the Woolies defense along with their ability to get their hands on some offensive rebounds. It's led to a couple of putbacks. It's led to trips to the foul line.
Fouls are piling up right now for the Blue Devils. Finnegan picks up her first. It's team 8th of the second half with 1:55 remaining in this one.
Filippo stands at the line. Front end doesn't go. Rebound Akachiri pulled away by Cronin and then lost over her head out of bounds. And the ball stays with Leominster. 1:52 to play in the fourth quarter. So the pull Ivana Akachiri to her spot outside of the basket frame. She'll put it inbounds for Finnegan. Now play catch coming up floor. Working on 2 Renos. Finnegan creates some space. Drops it off for Akachiri. Delicately, we'll say.
Not shy of contact, that's
Indeed.
for sure, Skylar.
She'll pop up a 3. Back rim, no. Battle for the rebound, down in the hands of Wilbur. 90 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. Leominster chasing 6. Millbury a chance to expand that lead. Leominster has the arrow if they can successfully tie Millbury up. Meanwhile, long way to go before they'll have to worry about shooting. They can give a foul, put them at the line. 1:10 to play here in the fourth. Inside pass as Cronin leaked open on the left block. She finished as we wind down toward a minute here in the fourth quarter.
Great look right there.
Adams, 3 from the left corner, does it go. Rebound down for Reno, and Adams the foul in the rebounding action. There was some elbows, and Grace Adams gets called over by the official as she showed some frustration, and she'll get a talking to, and she'll be on her way to the bench as that is her 5th foul of the night.
You know, back down to this last Millbury offensive possession. He had great patience working the perimeter, but saw that flash on the weak side there in the low post. Great job getting in for an easy layup.
Not many games left for the senior Grace Adams. She'll get a hug from Skylar Finnegan as one of her final 3 basketball games. She'll watch the last 54.5 seconds, which takes a 3-point threat off the floor for Leominster.
Got to find their point somewhere, but this entire second half has been a battle. Talking about 11 total points here in close to 16 minutes, 15 over 15 minutes of play. You're not going to win too many ball games like that. I'm sure we talked to Rusty after. He's going to talk about the lack of being able to score in the second half, being a downfall if Blue Devils don't find out some miraculous way to pull this out.
Grace ends her evening. That is Grace Adams. 6 points on the night for the Blue Devils.
Well below her 13-point season average. Reno, the front end of the 1-and-1, rattles home. 42-33 Millbury.
I can't get over how few fouls Millbury have committed in the second half.
While
Very
playing
clean.
smothering defense.
Very clean.
Akachiri to Akachiri, then for Finnegan. Ivana Akachiri through Curly White to Finnegan. Now Finnegan into a triple team, tried to draw a foul. Good clean defense played there with no call, and the ball going back the other way. About a 10-second differential, shot clock to game clock. 15 to shoot. As Turner tries to dribble around, Leominster spent chasing. Yeah, they're trying to chase the ball, and Faith Akachiri will finally run down Kelsey Reno to give the foul. 18 and 3/10 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. Shot clock will be off the rest of the way. Coming up post-game here on RFM on Inside Access Night, Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick will join us here at our courtside broadcast position. We'll recap this one and talk about the season that's been thus far. All that coming up post-game. He'll talk to the girls in the locker room. He'll be out to us. We'll take a slight pause. We'll have Kate Stats in between as well.
Don't want that.
As we continue courtside here on RFM. Reno got the first, missed the second, but the rebound down for Wilbur. They can dribble this one out. Leominster will keep pressuring the ball. Finnegan will give the foul.
That'll be her second. Leominster's team limit.
Battling right to the end. No, score's not going to show up, but this game was much closer than what we're going to end up with a final here. And Lady Blue Devils have played very well.
But the most interesting thing is that in that third quarter, when scoring was at a premium and on both sides, Leominster needed to take advantage of their scoring opportunities. If you have a team that is prolific on the offensive end, scoring close to 7, point after point in most of their games, you got to take advantage if they come out cold.
2 of 2 goes Shannon Reno to push that lead to 45-33. We'll say hello to another Leominster Lady basketball alum, Kaylin Burke, checking in tonight. Ball dropped in the post there for Harris Bradshaw, seeing her first action. Ball lost out of bounds, but that's Tanasia Harris Bradshaw, also a senior out on the floor tonight. She's been a part of this program right along. 2 and 8/10 seconds. Finnegan comes up top for Cuddy. For Curly White's three. Good if it goes. It will not fall. Final score here from the gym at Leominster High School. It's Millbury 45 and Leominster 33. As Leominster will conclude their home slate with a tough loss tonight to a solid Millbury team that will pick up their 18th win on the season. Leominster, their 12th loss. They're 6 and 12. Overall, Bill Thomas, interesting basketball game. End to end it went. Exciting at a lot of points. Defense kept Leominster in the game, but at some point, have to score one more point than the opposition, and they were not able to produce on the offensive end of the floor. As you said a moment or two ago, 11 total points in the second half is not going to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play on both ends of the court. You play great defense, but if you can't convert on the other end, they did a great job controlling the Woolies misses there in the third quarter and pulling down those defensive rebounds, but they were just unable to convert down the other end. They went an extended period of time, I think about 2 minutes left in that third quarter before they actually scored or had a basket from the floor at the very least. So, a tough third quarter, which, is leading to this deceiving 12-point loss here for the Blue Devils. But they played much better than the score indicates, kept the game out of it. At I think about a 3-point game there late in the middle of the fourth at 36-33. Just could find a way, and Woolies found a way to put the last 8 or 10 points on the board to create this double-digit margin.
And we talk about it with programs all the time. There's that fine line between knowing how to lose and knowing how to win. And Millbury tonight knew they were in a dogfight. They're well off their season average as far as point production goes, but they were never flustered. You see, they end up walking off the court tonight with a 12-point win because down the stretch, they knew how to finish a basketball game. They took advantage of the opportunities that were presented.
Yeah, and they know how to play defense. They play great team defense and know how to collapse and how to switch off. They were playing man-to-man. And you just look at the fouls, the second half fouls, only 2, while playing that type of defense and holding your opposition to only 33 points, that 30 average. I wouldn't be surprised if you were to go back and review their scoreboards that probably limited the number of times that the other teams got into the 1-on-1 or double bonus situation when playing that same type of defense.
Speaks to the talent of Coach Steve Reno's squad. They'll have a great opportunity coming up with the playoffs as well. More to come as we continue here on RFM. As we said, Leominster head coach Rusty Fredericks will join us at our courtside broadcast position as we continue on Inside Access Night. A winner tonight at Millbury, 45-33. This is RFM.
Can you extend those 2 lanes? That didn't latch case. I mean, it's just an approximate, yeah. Now we'll work it off exactly. I think we can pretty much go fully extended on everything. Why? What did they? What happened?
Do you know how you should like
Yeah, well, they don't want to pay you, but. See what I'm looking at, Todd?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide what's actually happening. This should. Well, these. Yeah. I don't want you to look at it. This might better go. See how I'm lining up on the picture and like the laptop? Use the laptop as a thing. I think that's because the other thing we have is it's angled over this way, so you can get like a little like.
I'm just trying to, I don't want the background to look crooked behind you.
Yeah, no, I think that's good.
Good enough. All right, let's make a squad here for Rusty. Cool. I did get a little distracted.
We thank you for hanging out with us here on RFM on Inside Access Night. Millbury a win tonight, 45-33, and we welcome you back to our courtside broadcast position alongside Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick. Now you can see, obviously, Bill has picked up, taking that game cam around, and we are now actually head on with that game cam, as well as our press row camera, as well as Coach, we've been doing this split screen thing all night long and kind of giving people an inside look as to what goes on this side of the curtain, if you will. Meanwhile, what we've been watching out there tonight speaks to your defense. We really, truly believed if you guys could have edged out and gotten back into this game enough offensively, really the story of the night would have been how your defense created this win by keeping them well off their numerical average.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a tough game, and if you just need to hit some shots and catch some breaks, and the girls just played hard. I just talked to them in the locker room, and you see that, you see a tear here and there, and I just tell them I'm just totally proud of them, and they're my family, and you could see when you just say I love you guys, and those heads just drop. I got friends for life now.
Absolutely. For the seniors, it is their last game at home, which is so difficult. Some of them will get a chance to continue, at the next level. Others, this is it. This is the end of basketball. They got a couple games left tomorrow, Wednesday, both on the road, and then that's it. It's all over.
Yep.
You've gone through that yourself in life. It's not easy when you reach this point of your career.
Oh, no. I told the girls I still remember my last game here walking off the court. It's tough. When you give it your all for the school and your community and your teammates and coaches, and then you go upstairs and, man, it hits you hard sometimes.
And you know what they will take away, of course, is a year this year that maybe didn't go the way they wanted, but when they look back over the totality of the 4 years here, they've done a lot to continue to build and grow the success of this program to create opportunities for those in the future.
Yeah, it's a good start to my coaching career here with the girls team, and they set the standard, and that group there was in the playoffs 3 out of 4 years, as their 4 years here. So we would have liked to have 4 for 4. Would have been huge. It just didn't break our way this year. They battled. You see them. They come in and they're ready to go, and they play hard. And like tonight, if we could just catch a break with a shot, or then you go down the other end and you see they throw it up there and it goes in. You go, wow, it's that easy?
13-2 opening run to start the ball game for Millbury. You find yourself in a substantial hole, and your defense creates opportunities. And during that 13-2 run, it's seemingly your offense couldn't convert them. Then all of a sudden, the offense started converting what the defense was creating for them, and next thing you know, you look up in the second quarter, hang on, we're in a tie basketball game? Like, all of a sudden, out of nowhere came that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, Skylar got to the hole a couple of times, hit some free throws, a couple of runners in there, and all of a sudden, someone else hits an outside shot, and it builds, and that's all you need is just once you start catching that, things happen good for you. And they came out the second half. They did a 2-2-1 press, really just to slow us down because they were trying to slow us from getting on the break and getting down court. We did that to them last year in Millbury, and they did it right back to us, slow us right down.
Interesting you mentioned into that second half. Of course, their halftime split was 24-22, and everybody was stuck there for a while, maybe for about a minute. Then they put a basket in to expand their lead, a little bit more. They expanded their lead to 5 with a three-pointer, and that was pretty much most of the scoring in the third quarter.
Right.
Not much else really to talk about. A lot of defense got played on both ends of the floor, and a lot of shots got missed on both sides. Once again, creating this opportunity in the fourth quarter where you all were within a couple of baskets being in the basketball game.
I'm just like, I hope this turns. These girls deserve better, and you're just rooting for them, and you're like, you're holding on to a couple timeouts, and you're like, make a basket, hit a free throw, you call timeout, set the press up. We were right there to the end, and, it got away from us at the very end, but not from a lack of effort.
2 more games to go. East Bridgewater on the road tomorrow afternoon, then Marhar on the road on Wednesday. Not exactly easy basketball games down the stretch. Millbury, East Bridgewater, Marhar to close out your season. But talk to me about what you're hoping for these girls down these next 2 games.
We're just going to we're going to play 2 games in less than 24 hours, and I said, go home, drink some water, eat, get ready, get prepared for tomorrow, and let's go battle. Let's go to work, and then we'll worry about the last game on our bus ride home.
At the college level, this would be one of those ice bath nights in the transition between game to game. They just dunk them into the ice bath and say, "Okay, you're ready. On to the next game tomorrow."
Yeah.
Less than 24 hours away.
So we'll have a couple people. Ava, who knows, with flu, and then Tiff should be back for tomorrow's game. So we'll get one more added in there so we can throw around, and maybe she can drive the bus.
Without a doubt, we'll mention, seeing, you have talked about that. We talked about these players that have gotten opportunities. Kylie Cudahy tonight hit a big three-pointer in the first half that, certainly bodes well for her. And just from a confidence standpoint, you're coming in a game, you started as a JV player, and you're a JV swing player, and now all of a sudden you're a contributing varsity player, and you got 3 points on the board with a great shot.
She's active. She plays hard. I love her attitude when she plays, and when she hit that shot, I mean, she just has a smile going all the way down the court, and I'm like, I don't care if you hit that shot. Let's play defense.
Hard to avoid the enthusiasm of a first three-pointer as well. Coach Rusty Frederick, we wish you best of luck the rest of the way, obviously, these next couple of games, and certainly a strong off-season. We'll see you back here for the 2020-2021 season coming up in the fall.
I can't wait.
I know. You'll be starting on it soon enough.
I appreciate what you guys do here as a team, and, thank you for being dedicated to the Leominster community.
We appreciate that, sir. Always good to see you as well. We'll be talking some more as well. He'll appear different places. You never know where Coach Rusty is. He showed up at the boys' game.
I love Gatorade.
You never know where he might turn up. We'll continue. A final word here from the gym at Leominster High School and Kate's post-game stats when we continue. This is RFM. Post-game continues here on Rivalry Family Media. Happy to have you along with us. Millbury a winner tonight, 45-33, the final score in our final RFM regular season game as we continue on Inside Access Night. You've been enjoying this split screen coverage. You can go back, check it all out here on Facebook. It'll be up on YouTube in 24 hours. You can subscribe and search up Rivalry Family Media on YouTube for that. As we continue to talk about this 45-33 Millbury win, we'll get some final words from Bill Thomas and myself coming up in a couple of moments. But Kate, you get to run down those final stats, and you heard Coach Rusty Frederick talking about it. There were opportunities. There were opportunities offensively that didn't ultimately fall, but the defensive numbers look great as they were able to create the opportunities that just couldn't put the ball in the hole.
I mean, defensively, they kept the Woolies to one of their lowest scoring games of the season. It's just as you said, when the Woolies went cold, so did the Blue Devils tonight, and that becomes problematic. Let's take a look at the Woolies' final statistics of the night. Team totals first. We know they came up with 45 points on the evening. 38 rebounds, 5 steals, 20 turnovers. As a team, they shot 13 of 21 from the line. That's 62% individual statistics for the evening. Kelsey Reno ends the night with 7, Paulus with 2. Shannon Reno ends the night with a team-high 18 points for the Woolies. Filippo ends the night with 2. Wilbur ends the night with 3. And Cronin ends the night with 13. She was 4 of 6 from the line. Shannon Reno 6 of 6 from the line for the Woolies. If we take a look now at the Leominster Blue Devils side of the ball, team totals first. 32 rebounds. Faith Akachiri was absolutely masterful in the paint, especially on the boards tonight. 4 steals, 19 turnovers for the Blue Devils, 5 of 6 from the line. That's 83%, which is a much higher percentage than the vast majority of their season, but had very few opportunities from the line did the Lady Blue Devils tonight. Individual statistics for Leominster tonight. Finnegan ends the night with a team-high 11. She shot 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Grace Adams ends her night tonight with 6. She fouled out late in the fourth quarter tonight. Kaya Curley-White ends the night with 7. Faith Akachiri with 4. Vivo More ends the night with 2. And Cudahy ends the night with 3. But ultimately, the offense of the Woolies is too much for the Blue Devils in the fourth quarter. 45-33 victory for Millbury tonight over the Leominster.
Okay, great job
Hey,
as
thanks.
always tonight, and people got to see all the jobs you juggled over here, the graphics,
Most
the
of it was
statistics.
actually off camera, so that was
One
fine.
of the many reasons we mentioned that you
I
turned
don't.
sideways.
One of the things people probably saw most is I don't watch much of the game. Sadly, I don't know if it's part of like marriage therapy. I have to listen to you most of the game in order to get the vast majority of my information. So a lot of times I don't get to see everything. So.
But you're able to provide crack
Isn't
analysis
that exciting?
as well, led through the
Isn't
numbers.
that exciting?
Thank you so much,
Billy
as always.
saved me.
Excellent job, Kate.
Bill
Thanks,
Thomas, of course, juggles multiple hats.
I suffer from the same fate.
What, marriage counseling with Todd? That's the fate?
At times I could use it.
Billy gets the opportunity, of course, to run camera, do the full-on analysis. Many a thing you're juggling over here, Bill Thomas. But what we saw tonight out here, on the floor and have seen with this girls team throughout the year, they have passion, they have the want for. The skills improved year over year. It's just in 2019-2020, their skills weren't good enough in this region. That's how strong girls basketball in central Massachusetts are at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, if we've seen it the last handful of games that we've covered, and if you don't play a complete fourth quarter game, you're going to end up on the short end of the score. I don't think we have to go back and look at the scorebooks from this season, but I'd pick some low-hanging fruit saying they didn't have a 4-point quarter all season. And that was really the downfall tonight. That 4-point quarter, the third quarter, they just could not find a way to put the ball through the basket. They did a great job playing defensively, holding Millbury to 5. If you were to ask Rusty, if you hold a team defensively to 5 points in a quarter, how do you feel? I feel good. But if you told him you're going to lose points, you're going to fall further behind over holding the team to 5, you must be crazy. That's what we saw tonight. They ended up losing a point in that third quarter. But it's just a tough way to lose when you play such great defense. And the morale is good. We saw it yesterday morning. We were here for the boys' game. They were out here practicing on a Sunday morning and running through plays, pick and rolls and stuff like it was preseason before the first game of the year with the hopes that high. But it's great to see, and it starts with Rusty coaching, his assistants, but the seniors did a good job, I think, helping to carry the team up to this point in the season, just to maintain that morale, keep everybody on board, and through thick and thin, a little more, the weeds were a little thick this year for them, and things got a little thin maybe, but nobody got thin-skinned. We didn't see anybody, getting on each other, no complaints, and play the game. And unfortunately, I mentioned to Rusty as he was walking out, number of games, 7 points or less, and he shook his head. You got to remind me, But it's really the tale of this season.
And that certainly has been the tale thus far as we kind of wrap up the regular season on the girls basketball side of things. Midwatch A, as we said, it's very strong, which will funnel into Division I Central Mass as part of that basketball tournament. But of the 5 teams in Midwatch A, 2 will qualify. It's a top-heavy league. Wachusett and Shrewsbury have the requisite 500 or better. Everybody else does not. Leominster, Algonquin, and Shepherd Hill go home. They do not have the requisite number to qualify for the playoffs. So, yeah, you're going to talk about Wachusett and Shrewsbury. We'll keep an eye on them here on RFM. We get the opportunity to bring you that broadcast. We certainly will, depending on the playoff alignments. But when you look at it, 2 teams out of Division I Central Mass here in Midwatch A will make it. That's fascinating.
Well, and it is, and that talks, again, it just speaks to the amount of parity that there is in Midwatch A. And one of the things that having only 2 teams qualify for the playoffs might allude to is you might have a very small number of teams in those playoff brackets for Division I in Central Mass. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I don't necessarily think Wachusett is potentially even going to be able to have a bye with as few teams as they are, or depending on how things fall, if they do get a bye, things might get shifted. It's going to be very interesting to see at the end of this week how that bracket aligns itself. Obviously, Leominster doesn't have to worry about it too much because they're not going to be mathematically eligible, but there are always going to be eyes on those brackets, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes.
Well, and to your point, remember in Division I Central Mass there is a shift. So last year Wachusett lost to Franklin in the Division I Central Mass Finals.
Franklin got moved.
Franklin is one of those teams.
That's one of those
from east to central.
to west to central.
And
where does St. John's fall in? Are they going to be in a Super 8 tournament?
That's a great question.
Division
Basketball
I?
does not have Super 8,
Nope.
I do not believe. So it will be, they'll be part of
even though they don't fall in
it,
they would be Midwatch A because of this size and their ability, and we can't discount the fact that they're that elephant in the room that doesn't show up in leagues per se, but they're always there at the end of the season.
Well, and on the boys' side of things, Bill Thomas took us in that direction. You've got at least 3 teams that are going to qualify from Midwatch A that will make it over the hump. Shrewsbury, of course, leading the way with Wachusett. Shrewsbury won the Midwatch A title this year. Wachusett will finish second. Leominster will finish a strong third this year, regardless of how the next couple of days play out.
That's a very interesting top of the Midwatch A.
That's a huge top of the Midwatch A.
But the league record wasn't quite as good, even though 14-4, I believe, but stumbled a little bit head-to-head within the league. Tough league, though. It's one of the toughest leagues in the state when you talk about matchups night in and night out.
The Leominster boys, having seen them and heard how their season has gone, very dangerous team in the playoffs, in my opinion. But it's one of those things, what version of the Leominster boys is going to show up on a given night? They can be absolutely lights out, or they just don't even show up. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see because they could go very deep or they just could not.
I think briefly, just to expand that, what we've seen, they've shown up more often than not. We saw it in Shrewsbury. We saw it yesterday against Mission Hill. They can play with the best. It's just a matter of if they can get their game out on any given night.
That's right.
And Billy, you make a great point. Every time we've seen them in person, they've played lights out every single time. But then you hear like, oh, how did your week go?
Right.
And then you hear about these things, these losses,
Not
and
so
you're just
good,
like, ooh, okay. So there's some kryptonite. There's some kryptonite there.
Yeah.
But again, it could be a situation where they play sleeper because they are, that third seeded team right now in Division I Central Mass in Midwatch A. So I'm going to be watching them with bated breath all playoffs.
They are the 3rd seed from Midwatch A that will qualify in. Whether that will equate to the 3rd seed in Central, we do know So far as I know, unless something has changed, they will be playing in the Central Mass tournament as Leominster has appealed their way back to Central. So we'll wait for the draws as they come out, see
We're not
where
going to Holyoke
they
this
fought.
year?
Not until later on, depending
That'd
on
be a good
how
thing,
things-
though.
Allegedly.
Central against West
is a
to
key
get
word.
the Boston Garden. We'll go with that.
I've been surprised before,
TD
but
Garden.
so far as I know at this moment in time, Leominster is firmly in Central Mass once again for the playoffs. So we will wait and see where that draw comes up. Draw comes at the end of this week for playoffs. We'll get more information on that with games expected in the early part of next week, second rounds tail end of next week, and then it should be those final rounds following in the week to follow.
One more thing to bring up. I
Yes.
know you want to wrap things up. I think we're going to have some information coming out of RFM before we even get to our next broadcast, because on February the 28th, you're going to have the statewide playoff vote. So we will certainly, it's at my school. Unfortunately, I'm going to be proctoring midterms. I might, when I get relieved from proctoring, we always get to take a little bit of a break. I might try to venture down into the auditorium just to kind of peek my head in and see how things are going. But Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School in Marlboro is going to be hosting the vote on the statewide playoff system. And so that's going to be absolutely crucial. Doesn't go into effect right away, but a crucial vote coming up for athletics across the state of Massachusetts. And I'm going to, it's in my
We might have the information
building.
first.
It's in my building. I can't even imagine.
So that information coming your way
Breaking
as well.
news
So
on
we
the
will-
20.
I might have just gotten put on a list of people not to let in. But
End of this week, we'll have that draw information for you for next week. Then, of course, that statewide vote comes sometime next week. It
February
may
the
be
28th.
before or after that first playoff game that may get drawn up here, depending on where Leominster's boys fall into, where Wachusett is, where Shrewsbury girls are as well. So all that to come. But
I'll
you
be
stay
hiding behind a curtain.
keep it locked here on RFM, both on Facebook, Twitter, as well as out there on YouTube. We'll have the information for you as we continue. And we thank you so much for being a part of this action throughout our regular season. It's been a heck of a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed Inside Access night tonight, and we've got more Inside Access plans for you in the years to come. This was certainly seemingly well received. So more places we can plop cameras for some Inside Access, get some special permission as well that won't involve us to ally both Billy
Coaches
and
camps?
Fears as well. That could
Basket
be
cam?
that could be some fun. You
Billy
never
and I are
know
gonna have-
where a camera could suddenly.
I'm not hanging off the
turn up.
basket to run a camera. I'm
Ladders,
just telling
yeah.
you that right now.
Really, there are ladders.
Oh,
Get
my.
ready for
Great
it.
regular season, playoffs, and more to come, and spring sports to come as well, which some lacrosse, softball, baseball as well. Hopefully get some boys and girls lacrosse in this year for you here on
gotta stay healthy.
RFM. We're looking forward to it as
You stay
well.
healthy, we'll do sports.
We'll do the very best we can. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins. And thank you so very much for being a part of our family. Once again, the final score tonight, Millbury a winner 45-33. The final score here from the gym at Leominster High School. Until next time here on RFM, so long, everybody.